Welcome back to Talking Characters. We are now up to the last of the key characters introduced in Chapter 2, Tail Vixon. Tail comments several times throughout the story about the correct spelling of her name, which I don't know why I thought that was important to add, but I thought it was funny every time personally. Um, you see that particularly when she's talking to the character of Dove, how when he says her name, he puts an E at the end of it. When she corrects him, she takes the E off, of course. I think that's how I'd set up that joke. I would have to take another look at it to make sure. So, who is Tail in the story? Well, if Marx Carrington is Victor Frankenstein, that makes Tail the Frankenstein monster. But in this really sort of dirty, grungy world that is Red Twilight, the monster isn't innocent. Tail only once in book 1 takes any aggressive action towards anyone. And that's when she's being dragged off by the Watchers to be processed as a criminal for the sheer crime of not being human. As it turns out, that was the credential they were looking at. So what was the inspiration for Tail? Well, the name, first off. Back in 2001, when I first moved to the state of Minnesota, I decided to make a swing through a record store because it was one of many places I had to put in a job application. I needed work fairly desperately, let's say. And I actually met somebody there who I swear they told me their name was Tail Vixon. I'm guessing they were probably a furry. That's okay, so am I. Why a fox? Well, I grew up in the 90s. There were a lot of cartoons on in the 90s where there were anthropomorphic animals dressed in clothes and acting like people. You can imagine the effect that can have on somebody in their developmental ages. Um, if Tail Vixen was modeled off of any one character more so than the other, I guess it would have been Miles Tail Prowler from the Sonic Saturday AM cartoon. I don't really know. I think over the years she became much more my character than anything else. Throughout the first book, Tail largely acts as a guide. She's somebody for Richard Blake to talk to. They bounce ideas back and forth over phone calls, and that's the bulk of what she does. Tail becomes a much more relevant character in books 2 and 6. So I guess the most relevant part of who she is in this story is her relationship to Marx Carrington. If you're in a world filled with violence, filled with anger, prejudice, the worst thing you can be is a nonconformist. And that's what we have. Tail is giddy, Tail is laughy. Tail likes to jump about. She has this really anxious personality. I don't think I have much to say on this one. In Tail's Genesis, she, like several characters before her, did not start off in this story. I had done other short stories that I will not publish, by the way, where she was a central character. I unfortunately don't think I have anything else to say right now, so I'm going to pat this one in. In the next episode, we get up to the Watchers. Richard Blake, Joe Dove, and Oscar Wright von Richten. Thank you very much. This has been a very short episode of Talking Characters.